All right. Welcome back. Adam Cole, ladies and gentlemen. He was on episode, I don't know, early 20s. I think it was 22 maybe. I don't know. It was
Oh,
early 20s.
that early. Wow. That's
No,
awesome.
it was early. Um and now here we are 50 plus in. A lot has changed for both of us. Like we were just saying before we started, we were both in the midst of the pandemic and now it's finally hopefully about to end. The vaccine's been rolling out. A lot of people have been getting that, and I heard that like California is like officially ending it in like July or something, June.
No, actually, the governor came out and said like by April 15th, if we meet all measures, we're gonna end April 15th. Which I mean, it's kind of crazy to go from like super strict to like nothing. I mean, it's been a joke here. I mean, realistically, like I'm in Southern Orange County, so a lot of people really don't give a damn about the coronavirus or anything, But
Mm-hmm.
things are opening up. Like restaurants are open, indoor dining. Uh, bars are starting to open too. So I mean, it is what it is. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just glad that it's going to be over soon. So that's good.
Thankfully, I'm just so sick of wearing these masks, man. Like I wasn't really that annoyed at first, but then just like working out, like football, it was so crazy because like football, like practice and stuff, we all had to wear them. But then like games, like nobody was wearing them. Like no one, no, the refs weren't saying like the refs wearing them and coach were wearing them, but the players weren't, and like no one cared. And it felt good, it felt like how things should be. We were like after the game, we were talking to people, no one was wearing masks except for the people who didn't play and stuff like that. And it felt like things were getting back to normal. And I really hope so because I'm sick and tired of just like not being able to see people, hang out with people. I'm very sociable. So like I want to be around more people the most people that I can be. So just like this year, that's been the shittiest part for me at least is like not being able to be around people, and
Yeah.
actually like see their faces. Like I feel like facial, like the way people move their facial features in the conversation is like pertinent to like how they're speaking to you and things like that.
Well, it's just it feels like life's been on pause. Even though everyone's been pretty much working and doing their own thing, it's like a lot of events have gone by where you kind of categorize the year by like events. You have holidays, you have like certain concerts that are around, you have certain like times when people go on vacation, and it just feels like none of that happened. So like the year was kind of just like not non-existent. Just
Hmm.
like kind of just on a treadmill, like no, not really going anywhere.
Yeah, I hope I get to travel here soon. My friend back home, he just like because he's been grinding solar and that's what he does. He sells solar panels and he was grinding and he finally took a break with his family and went to Mexico and he had like the time of his life. No one was wearing masks or anything like that. And I was like, dude, I want to go take a break and travel somewhere because like we were just talking before, I've been really grinding for the last 4 months. It's always good to grind for a while, but you need to take a break, because if you don't, you're gonna be like if you put too much stress on your body, even good stress, like your body needs a break, basically.
Yeah, you need to be able to like enjoy the fruits of your labor.
Mm-hmm.
Like you got to take time to be like, hey, let me enjoy why I've been working so hard. You can't just constantly be in that mode of like just grind, because then you're gonna burn yourself out.
Mm-hmm.
Burnout is a real thing. No matter what kind of space you're in, whether you're in like regular 9 to 5 or creative space, you kind of just always need to take that little break here and there, so that way you can get back on track.
I was telling somebody on these podcasts, I can't remember who, but like you got to make sure that if you're, especially if you're doing something creative, and even if you like have a job that you like, you can't let it become like a 9 to 5 in your eyes. You got to always make sure that it's like your passion. And if it starts becoming job like, take a break. Go on vacation, spend some time with your family, spend some time with, if you have kids, your loved ones, take some time and then get back to it. Because if you just keep grind, and you start to hate it, you start to build up this resentment for the thing you loved at one point. That's when it becomes dangerous.
That's exactly what happened to me last year when I was shooting full time. It became to a point where like I hated paying rent with like the money that I had to make just to survive, and like just shooting became me going through the motions and not really like being creative or like trying new ideas. I was just like literally just chasing a check and shooting with everyone, that wanted to shoot because I needed the money. When a big component of my brand is kind of being like exclusive, like I only shoot with a certain amount of people, which is like really bad in this industry in like this day and age, because everyone wants to be inclusive of stuff. But like that's the harsh reality is I had to learn like I can't have this as like my main place to get my bread and butter, because my whole brand is one on exclusivity, and then two, like I don't want to get burnt out of constantly doing it, because then it also happens. So it's like an economics thing. It's still supply and demand. If I'm diluting the supply of my photos out there, then it's gonna lessen the value of them overall. So I mean, you have to find that like sweet balance. I mean, if you have the ability to do your passion and make it something that funds your lifestyle, then great. But also, there's a lot of times where it doesn't have the ability to.
I think you said something important too about you haven't really been able to be creative when it becomes in that state. I think that's important because you know when you're stuck doing something and you don't want to do it, that creativity falls. I've
Yeah,
always found like the most creative I've been with anything I'm doing has always been when I'm playing with it, where I'm having fun with it. I'm not really like doing it for anything. Like sometimes when I first started this podcast, first early episodes, it wasn't really like I didn't really have a structure to how I framed it, and I still really don't. But like now I'm like I got this mode in my head that clicks on when I'm on it, and I'm getting this zone. And so, but the times that I am doing an episode and I'm like in that mode where I started, where I'm just like free flowing and like having a good time, like almost like I'm not recording this for an audience, I'm just recording, just talking to a friend. That's when the best ones come out, because I feel too structured, and I feel this like this is with everything. If you feel like it's too structured and too like choppy almost, and like blocks on blocks, it becomes almost like non-creative. So when you said that you haven't been creative when it becomes job, like I totally agree, because I feel like you have to let yourself get into that flow mode, that free flowing mode where you can just be
yeah,
free.
yeah. That's definitely it. I mean, it's like remember when you're in high school and you have to write a paper and you can't like if you're trying to just bust it out, you can't think of anything. It's the same thing with like being creative. If you just kind of sit in a room and try to think of like, oh, I need to do this because I have a deadline, like you're not going to create your best work. You're just going to put something out there to do it. But if you just have, your own time, your own ability, and just kind of just let things click or flow, however you like to create, then you're going to create some of your best work at that point. And
Definitely.
that's just me. I mean, I know a lot of people work differently. I know there's people who like to work under pressure with certain things, and I know people create in different environments. But I think just for me personally, that's how I like to work.
Yeah. There is something to be said about working under pressure. Sorry, did you just hear that dog?
No, and I did.
Yeah, stupid dog. Hold on real quick.
You're good. You're good.
We're back. You were saying?
Where were we? Creativity.
Yeah.
Uh, I think everyone has their different ways of how they create. Me specifically, I just like to do it free flowing. A lot of the times, like with my shoot, when I shoot, some of the best ideas that I've ever had was just like I'll get up and just be like, hey, I'll text one of my friends, hey, I have an idea, are you free tonight? And they sometimes happen to be like the best shoots. Or like one of the most memorable ones was I got a text in the morning from my friend Talia, and she was just like, "Yo, I just had a dream. We have to shoot it." And I'm just like, "Okay, like let's do it." And we planned it. The next day, we did it, and it's like some of the most firework that we've ever done. But even like someone like her, like me and her, just kind of create the best off of just right off the cusp. Like one day she just came over with a projector, and we just like looked up images online and just projected them on a wall and just went at it. Um, and that's just me personally. I mean, obviously in different creative spaces or different jobs, there's people who create in different environments. But I think the most one, so that way you don't to prevent burnout, is just to have it be free flow. You know.
Mm-hmm. Um, Weird digression about something you said about dreams. Do you vividly dream, or do you like have some sort of dreams, or do you not dream at all? Because I know
Oh,
some
I
people.
I dream like crazy. Like I could have a full on like what feels like 3 hours of a dream
Mm-hmm.
in like 10 minutes. I lucid dream all the time. I know when I'm
Really?
dreaming. Yeah, like I just my dreams are wild, absolutely wild. Especially like they go a lot with like my emotions and stuff too. They
Mhm.
trigger memories a lot of the times. But I know like there's some people who like don't dream at all, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Like what? How?
I think some of that is attributed to marijuana smoke. I know that for a fact. If the more people who smoke more weed, the less they dream. Because I know some people who have quit, and then as soon as they quit, they started dreaming again. But also, I think it does have to. I've always thought that it has something to do with like like the more creative you are, the more you dream. So I'm just like you. When I'm sleeping, dude, I can have these vivid dreams. Like almost every night, I have at least 2 to 3 vivid dreams that I can remember, and then they like go away after I wake up. But I think it is driven a lot by your emotions too. Like I feel like if I went to like a psychologist and like told them about my dreams, they could unpack what they meant and everything like that. But I think it is crazy to think that like you as a creative person vividly dream like that. But to something you said about lucid dreaming, is it something like you try yourself to do, or do you just go into it and you're like, oh, I'm dreaming, let's do this, you know?
It's kind of like one or it's both. Like I can go into a dream and be like, okay, let's try to lucid dream or whatever. But there's a lot of the times where I'll be dreaming and then I realize that, oh, I'm in a dream right now. We can now control it. And it either happens, one, I'll wake up, or two, like I'll just deep dive into this inception type of world, which is like really amazing. And it's funny because like what you said, a lot of people like they wake up and they forget their dreams. I have dreams that I remembered that I had when I was like 15. I've had reoccurring dreams that happen like every so often, especially like when like something comes up in my life.
Mm-hmm.
The craziest thing, and this is insane, is when I was 15, I told my dad this. I told my dad because the truck that I drive used to was my father's before mine. Before he bought it off the lot and he passed it down to me. But when I was like 18, and I told him I was like I keep having this dream that I'm in the truck and the brakes don't work and I don't know what's going on. Like just the brakes don't work. And he goes, you know what's crazy is I used to have that same dream, but I was in your grandfather's Monte Carlo. So that's something that I always thought was like super weird that me and my father have had the same types of dreams, just like different, little switches.
That's a testament to genetics right there, I think.
Yeah, like
Um,
that's kind of really strange. So, and I know they're doing studies on like if traits are passed down through genetics and stuff like that,
mhm.
which they haven't proven. But I would like to see some more studies with dreams, genetics, personality traits, and things like that. I think that all that stuff's like super interesting to me.
Hell yeah! If you're a human, all that shit should be interesting to you because you don't know anything about like we don't know why we dream. We still don't like because like you wouldn't evolutionary, you wouldn't dream unless it was like positive for the human species. Like think about it. Like we wouldn't just dream or need 8 to 10 hours of sleep every night if it wasn't for a benefit. You know, it would
Mm.
have just lost in the cycle of evolution. But since we do dream as this advanced human form, it's a testament to like why dreaming and sleep are so necessary. And I think one of the reasons dreams are necessary is because you can't remember everything and you can't deal with everything because life is really long. If you really think about it, like to learn something and to think about and experience a day, it's a lot for one brain. So I think the night is like figuring out what's like positive, what you're dealing with, the problems you're having, the good things, trying to formulate it. Into like fixing it, and that's just a byproduct of it is experiences because that's the only thing we really know is experience.
I mean, I think just unpacking the subconscious is something that is just so wild to me because it's so unexplored. And especially with like sleep patterns and sleep rhythms and dreams and REM sleep, because they always tell us like, oh, you need 8 hours of sleep, and then there's some people who can live off of 4 hours of sleep, and they're just like insanely productive people. And then they're looking at history, and they show like before the light bulb was invented, people would go to bed as soon as the sun went down, they'd sleep for like 4 hours, get up for an hour and do something like when the moon is at its highest point, and then go back to sleep. So they see that in some cultures. They see in other like ancient civilizations too that they did that where they would sleep like only 4 or 5 hours and then just go back to it. And then now like they don't really even know how many hours we should really be sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
And is it 8 hours from the time like we're in REM sleep to the time we wake up? Is it 10 hours from the time or the time we hit the pillow to the time we wake up? Or like what is necessary? What's that
Yeah,
magic number that's going to give us rest?
I think the important thing, a lot of it, is this keeping the same schedule regardless of what you do. It's the circadian rhythm, not fucking up the circadian rhythm. Because they always say like you can really like depression, anxiety increases if you mess up your sleep schedule, if you're not on a constant sleep schedule. So even if you go to bed at 3 a.m. and you wake up at 8, most days wake up at 8, and that's a testament too. I don't know if you've ever done this. Have you ever been on a sleep schedule where like you're going to bed pretty early and you're waking up pretty early, and then you're like, oh, I can sleep in, and you wake up at the time you usually wake up and you can't fall back asleep? I think that's a testament to your circadian rhythm, because your body's like, nope, we're up. And sometimes you're even like, maybe you slept like 3 hours, but you're like awake. And I think it's your body's like pumping out serotonin, waking you up, or cortisol. That's the one that wakes you up. Ready for the day, you know?
I'm kind of different. I mean, I take a lot of naps. I think
Mm,
throughout the week, like I'm a person who can take like a 10-minute nap and get up and go to the gym. But my mother's like that too. And then like there's people on my other side of the family, like my dad. He goes to bed at a certain time and wakes up like he's got an internal alarm clock to where he'll wake up before his alarm clock, like every day. But me, I mean, I have like a certain sleep schedule that I kind of keep to it. I mean, it'll either be I get like around 5 to 4 hours of sleep maybe a day or during the week, but then maybe on like a Friday, Saturday ish, I'll get like a full 8 hours. So I don't know. I don't know if that's bad. That's just how my body I feel runs best.
mm-hmm.
Now that I'm working a lot more, I don't sleep in as much as I used to. I mean, I used to when I was a teenager and everything younger, I would sleep all the time. But now I feel as I get older, like I'm getting less and less sleep, but I feel a lot better though. You know?
Yeah. And as we get older as people, I feel like we understand that we got to maximize our time awake, because it's so valuable to use every moment that you have awake doing something productive or doing something you need to do. Um, like I always think like I got to get up early, because if you wake up at 10, right? There's somebody that wakes up at 6, 4 hours grinding more than you are right there. And think about, like, I'm on the West Coast, like so are you. Think about the East Coast. The stock market opens at 7. That's 4 a.m. over here. That means if you wake up at 10, that's 6 hours of people grinding in the United States alone, with you being asleep.
Well, it's kind of weird because my friend showed me this like inspirational video or whatever. It was on TikTok or something, but it was the guy said like choose your hard. He's like it's hard to get up early in the morning, be productive, go to work, do all that, and you know get through the day. That's hard, but it's also hard to wake up at noon, feel unproductive throughout the day, waste your whole day away, and then not have done anything. That's also hard. And it goes, dude, I've been like living by this for weeks now because it goes with like with everything. It's hard to get up and go to the gym. It's hard to eat healthy and eat a fucking salad. It's hard to, you know, take care of your health and everything. But what's also hard is eating junk food, sitting on your ass, doing nothing, and then later in your life, getting diabetes, getting high blood pressure, taking medication. That's also very hard. So, what would you rather do? Choose your heart. Would you rather do the work now, go to the gym, be healthy, so you're healthy in the long run? Or would you rather slack off and eat the pizza and eat all that junk so that way you're feeling like shit in your old age, you know? So and like it's not just that, it's like with work. Grind it out later so you can enjoy it later, you know? Being financially responsible is hard. But also being broke when you're in your 40s because you weren't financially responsible in your 20s is also hard.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it just like any line of work or anything you want to apply it to, you can. And it's kind of like changed my life in this past couple months because it's been so great for me. You know, I'm choosing what's the best place to be hard, and that's what I enjoy.
Kobe Bryant once said, he was quoting his teacher, but it was like rest at the end. You know, you can rest when you're old, or you can rest when you're dead. Rest at the
Yeah,
end.
yeah.
Grind now. You have every day to grind is right now. You know.
But I mean, everyone says sleep when you're dead. You know.
Yeah, real life. I
Yeah.
mean, you need sleep. Don't not sleep because you'll die. Get a little bit of sleep at least, but grind.
Yeah.
Don't sleep too much.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I think you have a good mindset about that, because humans are very adaptable. Like, so what you're saying is like life is hard, regardless of what you're doing. You're gonna struggle. You're gonna have your internal angst. You're gonna have all that stuff, regardless of what you're doing, regardless of if you're sitting there slacking off or if you're grinding your ass off. But choose it.
Mhm.
Choose your own sacrifice.
Yeah.
Choose what you want to do with your life. Choose if you want to be a slack off, a jerk off, and just waste your life away, just jerking off and laying in your bed all day, do that. But if you also want to get up, grind, say, I know this is going to suck, but I'm going to do this one day so I don't have to one day, that's also your choice. You get to choose what life you have. It's just if you're willing to risk it, you know?
Yeah, I mean that's the great thing about being human is we get to choose our own destiny. I mean, obviously, geographically it has to do with a lot of it. We're blessed Americans, so we get to choose these things. But I mean, in life, there's always going to be someone who has it harder than you. So at least choose what's going to be hard for you. You know. So
That's a good way to think about it. Choose what's going to be hard for you.
yeah,
Um, so I always think about it like this. So if you're a normal American, you're going to have these struggles that you go through, tragedy that you just are not ready for, but be the man who's reliable when those things happen, or be the woman that's reliable when those things happen, because there's going to be people around you that are experiencing the same things, whether it's a death of a loved one, loss of a job, you know, a breakup. There's going to be people around you who are experiencing the same things. Be the reliable person when those things do hit, be the Noah who has the ark when the flood hits.
yeah, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of opinions I have on that. When it comes to tragedy, comes to depression and things around you, like yeah, everyone experiences some of these things. Everyone has different devils and different levels. But when it comes to like, things that are tragic, unfortunately they are tragic, loss of a loved one, being depressed, things of that nature. But you can't dwell on it for so long because my time on this earth is so small and so minute compared to the history of the world that I really don't have time for those things. So like when a breakup happens, I don't have time to sulk on it. I only have time to
Mm-hmm.
better myself so that way the next person that comes along for me gets the better gets my better self,
Mm-hmm.
than I was for that person previously. I can only better myself and improve in the long run. If if a loved one passes away, yeah, that's tragic. Yeah, that's upset. But I'm not sure that that loved one would want me to be depressed and sulk and waste my life mourning the loss of them. The best thing I can do for that loved one is to live my life to the fullest for them.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to depression, whether it's an emotional thing, a chemical imbalance, uh, anything that might be, medical or whatever, whether or not we are going to have down days, and obviously I can't speak on it because I'm not a medical professional. If it's a chemical imbalance, like go seek help, go do what you need to do. But if it's something where you're just sad, are you depressed or does your life just suck because you're not improving your lifestyle?
Yeah.
Focus on things that are going to make you not focus on how sad you are. You
Mm-hmm.
can't focus on yourself if you're doing you can't focus on your depression if you're too busy doing calculus homework to go get your PhD, whatever. You can't focus on your depression if you're working out and trying to build yourself a better, healthier, stronger body. You can't focus on your depression if you're being creative and having a specific outlet in what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Just keep those gears moving so that way you can put the stuff that you don't like into the back of your mind. And
I think,
so
yeah. I think that's important for a lot of people who are sad. Um, if you're sad, take a look, and if take a look at the 5 categories of life: loved ones, hobby. Are you in a stable relationship? Do you have a social life? And do you have a job? Are you making money? And if you don't have 3 of those, get your life together. The unfortunate thing is, and I've struggled with this in my life too, is that when some people have those, like this might be a chemical imbalance, might just be genetics, might be a lot of things. When a lot of people have those things and they're still depressed, that's when it's really sad, because a lot of those people, because depression's it's so weird, because it's like, especially if you have anxiety too, because it's like me and you, in our lives, or people when when they're not experiencing this, because I have experienced this, still do to a certain extent, but when something happens, you're like, all right, that sucks, but I still got all this. That's how you like, that sucks. You think about it for a while, you're like, fuck. But then something good happens and you're right back to being a person. But for people who are depressed, it's like something bad happens and it's just another reason to jump off a bridge, and that's the shitty part, is because you can't really, when you're in that mindset, it's really hard to get people out of it, and it's really hard to get them to get help. And so the thing I always say is, like, if you are sad, make sure you look, right? And if you don't have 3 of the 5 in order, get your shit together. That's you can fix those things. You can fix not all the time can you fix relationships with family, but most people can. Not all the time can you go out and like go on dates and things like that, but most people can. not everyone can have a job, but most, you know, you see the trend. If you're the average person, you can get those 3 out of those 5 in order.
Mhm.
But if you have 3 out of 5 of those in order and you're still sad, that's when you got to go see help. Because if you're sitting there and very small, minute things are happening to you, and you're still like, why am I even here? Why do I exist? That's when it becomes the tricky part, you know?
I think you have to get in like kind of out of your you have to have an out of your body experience and kind of look at yourself as a whole as we're coming into the future, the 2021. We're seeing a lot of the things are social constructs, and whatever your opinion is on gender, sex,
Mm-hmm.
ideology, men, male, female, feminism, masculinity, whatever it is, we're seeing that a lot of it is social constructs, and it is. But you also have to look into other things that we also are lacking, like happiness. I learned is only a new age idea that's only come along in the past like 2 to 300 years. No one really gave a shit if you were happy 200 years ago. No one gave a shit if you were sad 200 years ago because everyone was busy surviving.
Mm-hmm.
So if you find that yourself are still sad, depressed, whether it's a chemical imbalance, whatever, I think maybe you need to give yourself to something more than you. You cannot focus on yourself. There's other thing that needs to be improved in this world. Like I had a friend who she was constantly sad. She didn't really like her family. She got out of a really bad breakup. She had her degree, and she was gonna go get her master's, but she wasn't sure if that was gonna be, satisfactory to her life. Now she works for the Peace Corps. She goes around Africa, she goes to India, and she's helping other people that don't necessarily have the resources by either giving them, medical treatment. She's teaching around the world. She's giving her life fulfillment by giving her life to someone else, if that makes sense.
It does make sense.
She's reaching out to other people and giving them something she necessarily couldn't find. She's giving her life purpose. That's what she is. She's giving her life a purpose. Sometimes people aren't necessarily meant to be in society. People aren't meant to be in Los Angeles to become a YouTuber. People aren't meant to become models. People aren't meant to become CEOs. Sometimes you have to give your life purpose by doing something else that's going to make you feel good. We live in a society now that gratification is a major thing that we need to have, and it's unfortunate because a lot of us are not built for that. A lot of us aren't meant for this social uh, society that we need to fall into a puzzle piece of, and that's why people feel depressed. That's why people aren't feeling fulfilled, is because they don't feel like they fit along in society. So sometimes you need to branch out and see if, hey, maybe the society thing isn't me. Maybe I need to go live in Alaska and live in the wild. Maybe I need to go teach kids in Ghana who don't know, don't have the necessary resources that I have. Maybe I need to do ocean preservation in Australia and help people there. You need to give your life a purpose, and I think that's
Yeah,
gonna
you do.
that's what's gonna help people with their feeling of despair, I guess.
Yeah. Starting this podcast changed my outlook on everything. Like when I started this, it was just obviously bullshit. I told you that. And then as it's grown, it's become like such an important part of my life that like when I go without it for a while, it like I feel the hole, you know. It's turned into one of my creative outlets, and I love it. I'm glad that I fell into this, whatever you want to call it, because it's like, it is its own creative outlet. I know you can feel it. It's very different than just a normal conversation. It has a certain feel to it that you don't get unless you've done it before. And so like days where I go on, and especially days where I feel like it's a crushed episode, I have those all the time. And I just have that, like, it just feels like I fulfilled what I needed to do, what I need to do. And so I feel like it's given my life purpose. And obviously I have a whole bunch of other goals that um, I'm going to strive for in the future, but like just finding this it's definitely one of those things that's giving me purpose right now.
That's good. You see, yeah, you're finding a fulfillment in your life. You're feeling that void or whatever you might have had with a creative outlet. And not only that, is like you're reaching out to people to see what their purpose is or what they feel their purpose is, or, and what their creative space is. So it's like you're building yourself your own network of fulfillment, you know?
Yeah, definitely. That's the main part of it, is like talking to people who are so passionate about something that I have you really nothing like about, I know nothing about it. Like I've talked to psychedelic artists. I've talked to a virologist, a neurovirologist. We talked about COVID and viruses and things like that. I've talked to painters. I've talked to you. I've talked to fighters. I've talked to a whole different type of people now. And it's like, just seeing other people's outlook on life and, becoming friends with people through this and everything. It's really been interesting because it's like, it really gives me a new outlook on life because it makes me see that like everybody is like let me say this in a way. Everybody is like a unit of measurement. And I mean, like, everything's connected. Like, you are in a network of the entire world. Like, everything is really connected. And it makes me think that, like, the universe is all connected. I feel like everything kind of happens for a reason, but everything doesn't happen for a reason. And I know that's fucking weird for me to say because it doesn't really make sense. But, like, everything, no matter what happens, basically, it happened. And something's going to change and something's going to form from what happened. But I agree that it was meant to happen, regardless of your decision making, whatever you decide to do, that's what the way life is going to go. And it's all going to cause and affect the way that everything works. Do you understand what I'm saying? I got into a weird metaphysical area.
No, no, no. I mean, it's giving you something to believe in, and it kind of goes like like lately I've been a big proponent of energy, and good energy is only going to get you, like I'm only surrounding myself with people with good energy, and it sounds corny to say, but everyone's about good vibes and good, good this, good, but like energy is a big thing to me. If I'm coming into a room and this person has high energy, great emotion towards me, oh, I want to, oh, how's it going? What's going on? What are we doing today? We're creating, we're doing this. That's great energy. I'm going to feed off of that. But if someone's coming at me very negative, no, I don't want to do this. No, no, this, no, that. No, I'm not comfortable. Like that's not good energy. That's gonna make me close up and shrivel. And I'm also coming into the fact of like, does the earth give us energy? And it does. When you're in nature, when you're going on a hike, you feel good. When you go dancing in the rain, that feels good. That's the earth giving you energy, and it's just you got to find that energy wherever. And people are like, oh, that's not real. Oh, that's and immediately when they say that's not real, that's false, you're believing in a false whatever, that's immediately negative energy to me. I mean, with anything, whether it's religion, energy, vibes, astrology, believe in something.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, we're all here for a reason. The universe is all connected. We might not know it yet, but eventually we will find the answers. It's just, why not believe in something until we can find those answers, you know?
But yeah, back to what you're saying about good vibes and feeling. I was telling someone this the other day. I can't remember who, but I was just like, like I always want to be that positive force when I go into something, because positive energy, just like negative energy, is attractive.
Yeah.
Negativity or cynicism brings company, but also positivity does too. You just feel better when someone's just great energy.
Yeah.
And it just makes you like want to like smile and just have a good time. Like, I'm always a big proponent of when things go wrong. I feel like you should be the person to be like, hey, we still got this, and make people feel better about situations.
Exactly. I mean, I'd rather give off good vibes and be positive than be negative. I mean, because where's negativity gone you? You know, not really anywhere. You're not really gonna move. You're not gonna get your wheels moving with negative energy.
Mm-mm.
So I'd rather at least try and be positive than try and be negative, because it's gonna take. It's easy to be negative. Again, choose your heart. It's easy to be negative, but in the long run, it's hard because you're gonna have no one want to be around you. But it's
Mm-hmm.
hard to be positive, but you're gonna get better things out of it in the long run. So choose your heart.
Smile 3 times a day. Bet you feel better. Every listener out there, if you're in a negative mindset, I get it. Smile 3 times a day. I bet you feel better. Literally, just smile. Just make yourself smile. Even if you force yourself to smile, you'll feel better. Guarantee it. Um, but let's talk about you for a little bit. We've been just talking, and I
I
mean,
know we always ramble. I love it though.
I know, I did too. Nobody, I mean, not nobody. I have grown my listeners. So if people haven't listened to episode 20 or whatever it was and don't know who you are, just talk about yourself for a little bit, who you are, what you do, things like that.
My name's Adam Cole. I'm a content creator, creative, photo taker, photographer, a little bit of everything, advice giver. uh, proponent of positivity and female empowerment, I guess you could say, but not really. I don't know. I'm a little bit of everything. I at the end of it, I think I'm starting to become more of an entertainer on my page. But I'm trying to be a little bit of everything. I just released my first photo book. I'll actually let me grab it. I have a copy here.
Yes, please.
So it's my first photo book. It's a collection of all my Polaroids. So it's me on the front and back. It's a collection of all my Polaroids of all my shoots for the past 2 to 3 years. It's called We'll See How Things Develop. Because if you know me, I shoot 100% on film, no editing, no nothing, just all old school analog format. So that's what I'm very proud of, the fact that I do. And in a digital age that we live in, I'm still very old school with it. It's still very still still very vintage. Everyone loves those vintage vibes, and I think my film does it. But on top of that, I do it in a creative manner to where uh, it's not really explicit, it's not really pornographic, but
Edgy.
it's still very edgy, still very sexy, still very female empowering, I guess you could say, because
Mhm.
it's not objective. It's very subjective kind of work. Obviously women are my main subjects of my photos, but it's not objectifying them in any way. So I'm very proud of on that front, and I think, especially because in the industry that I'm in, whether it's modeling, fashion, photography, I don't like to call myself a photographer because photographer just takes pictures at the end of the day. But for me, I'm doing everything. I'm creating creating a creating a shoot, directing the shoot, taking the photos, getting the film developed, and then presenting them. So it's a whole production value that I bring. It's not just me inviting someone to come shoot and say, okay, do your thing. I'm just going to take the pictures, because I think that's very boring. That's very bland of someone. I think if you're going to get into any type of industry, whether it's creating, fashion or modeling, way
Ooh,
away from shoot.
are you hitting something right now?
Oh, are we good?
Yeah, you're good now. You were just hitting. I think you were like covering up your speaker.
Oh, uh, if you're going to be getting in the industry, like, stop shooting with people who are just there to take a photo.
Mhm.
Start shooting with people who are not only going to accelerate your creativity but bring something to your platform. So, like, a lot of people come to me now because, and I was going to talk about this on my story. I know I don't have the best photos. I know my photos are not the greatest. They're not in advertisements. They're not this. But people come to me for not only how to learn how to shoot or learn how to model, because I know how to direct people, but they also come to me for advice. They also come to me like, where should I take my career? What's my niche? What's this? I bring the whole package. I mean, one of the best things that I had was a girl came to shoot with me on a test shoot, and she was like, she came to shoot. She got great photos for her portfolio, but she came because her friend was like, hey, my friend came and told me just to ask questions on how I can get in the modeling industry. And 4 months later, she calls me crying because she got signed to Storm Models, which is the sister company of Elite, which is like a tremendous modeling agency. So I thought that was like really cool. But yeah, that's me, I guess.
No,
uh,
yeah, dude. I mean, I would definitely call you a proponent of women empowerment for sure. 100%. But also, yeah, I like how you're not holding yourself to one sphere of life. I like how you're branching out. You want to maybe be a mentor. You want to give advice. You want to lend positivity. You want to be like kind of an entertainer. You just released your first photo book. You have all these areas where you can succeed, and especially since you're not limiting yourself to one specific area, that's perfect. So I really like that. Um, so what do you like? What is your job exactly? Like you said, you have a full-time job on top of uh, everything else you do. So what exactly is your job?
uh, I don't want to talk too much about my day job because I don't want people looking me up and shit.
Yeah.
But I'm in the financial sector. I have a federal license, so I can't get in trouble anymore with that. But that's what I'm in. So I have a day job where I wake up and I have clients and I have a normal kind of like 9 to 5 job that I just got back into like a couple months ago. And then after that, it's when I schedule my shoots or I schedule stuff on the weekends. I have a ton of content laid out so that way I can I can relax a little bit and just
Hmm.
kind of get together my books and things like that. I mean, I got back to the day job because I was telling you, I was getting burnt out of shooting every day. I was shooting like 6 days a week. 4 of those days would be for girls who have OnlyFans. Another four would be, or the other ones would be for like agencies and content and brands and stuff like that. And eventually, it kind of you know, just got repetitive for me, and I wasn't
Hmm.
liking it. I wasn't feeling fulfilled, especially just taking photos for like Instagram. Just wasn't like fulfilling me anymore. So plus, it was like the middle of the pandemic, and I was like, okay, well, if I can't travel to work, there's no point in like shooting full time. I might as well go back to the day job, and that's why I re-upped my license, and now I'm back in doing that. But as I release my books, I'm getting full scale prints made so I can start submitting them to galleries and things.
Oh, wow.
I think I might make the push to like go full time again with like the creative space, but I don't think it'll be shooting full time. I think I'll do like more consulting or art shows, something like that. As the world's opened up, there's obviously gonna be more opportunities for me to work with different people.
Yeah.
So we'll see where that takes me. But right now, I'm just focusing on like I'm still riding the wave of this book. I'm gonna be releasing another one very soon, and I'm gonna try like for the summer just have like a book every month. So by the time that like December rolls around, there's a couple big art festivals that or art shows that I would like to build enough hype to where I get invited to showcase in those. And if I have the ability to showcase those in the end of the year, then it's game over. The sky's the limit. So hopefully I won't have to be working the day job till then. So,
Yeah. No, I
but
think that's awesome, man. What were you gonna say?
yeah, I mean, I have plans and goals laid out. I just don't necessarily know how I'm going to climb that ladder quite yet. But things are in the work. So when it happens, hopefully it does. I'll be able to show it, and hopefully I'll be back on the show and when something else big
You
happens.
definitely will be back on the show. Hopefully, we can do this in person. Hopefully, if you ever come up to Vegas, anytime and during any of the summer months, hit me up, bro. You can always come
Oh
by and we
yeah,
can.
I'm gonna be in Vegas a lot. I mean, Vegas is fucking home to me, because I'm a degenerate. But
Yeah.
I have a friend who just moved out to Vegas. She's always wanted me to come out there, and so I think I'm gonna be going sometime soon because
Yes.
I love
Please
it out there.
come
I love it
come
out
down and sit. Let's do this face to face. Now
there.
we have this has been these have been great, but I think we'd get a lot out of the in person ones. Especially by then, I think I should have somebody, a assistant or something who does my filming for me. Been working on that for a while now. That's why Zoom's been so helpful for me during the pandemic and everything, because it shoots the video for me and records the audio for me. But now, as I start to build, start to get more and more credit, start to get more and more fans, the audio is just so much better in person. So once
Oh
I
yeah.
get that person who can be that young Jamie from the Joe Rogan experience,
Yeah.
I that will help me so much. But yeah, bro, when are you releasing your second book, and what is it gonna be called?
That one's gonna be a mini series. I think the other ones are gonna be mini series. I mean, they're all gonna be called. We'll see how things develop. But
Mm-hmm.
like this one's the instant film. The one after this is gonna be the gallery, and there's actually it's this is gonna be another 3 books, but the other 2 micro series, I guess, is just add water, and I have another one, but I haven't titled it yet. So
Nice, man.
just add water one's gonna be really exciting because it's just water, so there's a lot of water involved. But I think that one's one of my cool ones because I use a special type of film a lot for that kind of
Yeah.
work. And it's going to be it looks all the same, but it's I don't know, it's just really interesting. And the shoots I did for that ones are always very fun.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of funny because I thought last summer was like when I was going to close out the kind of close out stop shooting for that book. But more people keep asking me like, hey, can I do this type of shoot, can I do this type of shoot, like, and it just falls in line with what the book is about. So we'll see. They're all in the works. They're going to be smaller. Like I mean, they're going to be bigger in format, but they're going to be smaller in page length. And this is hardcover, but the other ones are going to be soft cover, so it'll be more of like magazine kind of esque type
Nice, bro.
thing.
No, yeah,
So
that was weird. I had a little bit of delay. No, that's fascinating, man. I'm glad you can tell when someone has like this goal in their eye and they have like that lion stare, and you get the like that like I could see you like look at like when you were talking about it, like seeing, your future out. And so that's really cool because I feel the same way. When I think about what I want to do with this show and just things in my life, I get this little like twist, and I get this little like I want it. And I think that's one of the greatest things about being an American is that the sky is the limit, especially in any domain. We're privileged enough to be Americans, so might as well make the most of it.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, I think the only person that prevents you from doing something is you in the end, in the long run. Whether no matter what your area of expertise is, just grind at it. I mean, even for me, it only gets harder because we live in a digital age, and I'm taking the hardest way to take a picture and turning it into something, something that's severely outdated. I'm releasing tangible items, like a lot of people, yeah, they have great photos, but they don't have books out. They're not releasing anything like, and when I send out a book, like I personalize it, I'm signing it, I'm putting a note in there for everyone that buys it. A lot of the big names who are out there that are selling like prints and stuff, they have like a third party company that just like prints it out and ships it to that person, which I think is so impersonal as an artist. Like as an artist of what I do, the most personal thing I can do is like, hand sign something that I'm delivering. Or like it's like, that's like the closest thing I would say to like if I was a musician hosting a concert in like a private venue. you
Mm.
know I'm just trying to get closer to the people that support me, and I'm not trying to you know pump out a ton of prints or anything, or like devalue my work. Yeah, I'm selling books, and yeah, I'm doing it, but it's just to get my name out there so people can actually hold a copy of my work. And like the prints that I'm making them full scale. Like they're going to be bigger than the wall behind me, so that way I can submit them to a gallery, and actually I can tell people like, hey, my work is in this gallery on Ocean Avenue. Like, go check it out. It's hanging up there. Send me a
Mm.
picture of you looking at it. So I think that's something that's going to be very cool. Tangible work is something that's gonna I feel is gonna come back in this age. Um, like newsletters, catalogs, things. I mean, and it goes with anything else. Like, think of like a fashion brand. Yeah, they could have a website, but what if you got a catalog delivered to your house that you could flip through and look at the clothes? How much more inclined are you going to be to buy that item
Yeah.
rather than going to a website? They're going to say it's going to bring a bunch of pop-ups of buy this and you get 15% off. But if I was to receive a catalog of different jackets that I could buy, dude, I'm going to order one. I don't know. For me personally, I'm ordering one. You know, if and say with you like podcasting, what if you got your FTC license and you could broadcast on a radio station out in the middle of Las Vegas of the desert?
Yeah, that'd be dope.
That's something that I think is really cool and something you might want to look into, because how
Mm.
many people are opening up radio stations these days? Sirius XM, anything. I think that'd
Mm.
be insane. Uh, a lot with websites that are getting flooded like YouTube and Instagram, it's hard to really navigate them anymore. But I think that's why tangible items are going to start to come back. This analog wave of things is going to make a resurgence. So I'm pretty excited about
Yeah.
it.
Well, also NFTs too. Do you know what NFTs are?
Yeah, which is
It's
kind of weird.
it's like tangible, non-tangible items, but it's like your own personalized. It's like artwork. It's like digital artwork but you buy it and it's just yours. It's crazy to think about how things can like be like digitalized but be personalized. And I think that's gonna blow up, like with NBA Top Shop, where they like do like NBA, and you can buy NBA highlights, like the premier NBA highlights of games, or like the full game, like you can buy it and it can be just yours. Like that's insane to me. Like because we always thought about, okay, maybe you can get a jersey, maybe you can get some shoes, but now we're thinking, oh wait, we can get the full game clip, or we can get the highlights. I think it's just gonna be another level of things you can, like a consumerism basically.
Well, what I heard, what's going to happen is it's on a small scale now of buying these like non fungible tokens. And eventually, because we're moving into a virtual reality world, augmented reality, virtual reality, what you want to do, there's people who are not only going to have, virtual art, but they're going to have virtual homes that they build in a virtual world. And then this virtual home that you can have this non-fungible token on your wall, so you can display it in your non in so you can display your virtual art in your virtual
Whoa.
home in your virtual life. So I mean, obviously this is years out, but on one side, this is really cool for like gamers and people in that
Yeah.
world, but there, it's also very not cool for people who are like, yo, just go live your life. If you want a
Yeah.
house, go build a house. If you want this, I mean, yeah, it's cool. It sounds cool on paper, but in the reality, you have to think about it. Where is your life at in reality that you have to build a virtual home to have virtual art? Does your life suck? Is your life boring? What's going on around you that you need a virtual life to fulfill yourself?
The problem is going to be if too many people get attracted to it, it's going to make everybody get attracted to it. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. But you know, that's where the world's going. I mean, it's scary. I think there's going to be the worlds are going to collide to one point where uh, there's going to be a revolution in regards to that. They're either going to make it so there's restrictions, so we can't go into that side of the world, or we're going to be fully accepting into it, and it's going to cause
Mm-hmm.
more problems. You know?
Yeah. Hopefully we'll be in our elderly years or not even here anymore when that all happens.
Yeah.
You know, man, we're in me and you are in a weird space because we're young enough to understand technology on a high level, but we're also old enough to like understand at one point there wasn't like we were like the first people to like really like we weren't the kids who had iPhones since like
Oh
they're
yeah.
3,
Like my
you
first
know.
electronic was a Game Boy.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
I played the PS2 for so long, man.
dude. You know what's funny? The life of the PS2.
Yeah.
The life of the PS2 was like from 2000 to or like 99 to maybe like 2009. Like it almost went like a whole decade.
It might have been longer than that, man.
I know they didn't stop producing the PS2 until like 2012.
Yeah, I think I had it in like into 2012.
Yeah. So the life of the PS2 is like amazing. But when you go before the PS2, there was so many consoles. Like there was the Sega Genesis, the Sega Dreamcast, the
GameCube.
Nintendo. You had GameCube was kind of in the generation with PS2.
I think it was a little before, wasn't it?
I'm not sure. We'll have to Google facts that.
Yeah.
That's why you need young.
Actually, I can do that right now.
There you go.
I can. You're gonna like this feature because I learned how to do the Zoom share option. When did the GameCube
I'm
come
gonna
out?
say 2001.
You're gonna say 2001. All right,
Yeah,
let's share the screen and see. You see this?
yeah.
Okay, hold on. Let me move this.
2001.
2001.
2001. Wow. See?
North America, November 5th, 2001. That is insane.
Yeah.
When did the PS2 come out? Nope. PS2. March 4th, 2000. Wow.
See?
That's crazy.
Holy shit, dude! It's still selling. Do you see that? It's still selling for $600.
For real?
Go back to that. Go back to that real
Okay,
quick.
hold on.
Look at that.
Where do you see that?
PS2 on the
Oh,
right.
holy shit, dude.
No.
$189 from Walmart.
Holy shit. That is wild. I still have mine.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I
That-
gave mine to a family when I got my PS3.
No, I love those old games, but yeah, the lifespan of electronics is definitely dying because I mean, what the PS3 was like a couple years, and the PS4 came out, and then now the PS5's out.
I still have the Xbox One. I don't.
Yeah, that's what I have too.
Yeah,
It's still good.
it's still good. Yeah, I really only use it for Netflix anymore.
Yeah.
Like Netflix, Hulu, all them. Like I play Madden. Like I fuck with Madden and Fortnite once in a while when I just want to connect with my friends, like my boys back home. I know a lot of people play Warzone and stuff, but like it's not like it's like how it used to be. I used to grind on the PS3 and then eventually the Xbox One. I used to grind 2K every day with literally my brother. Like we grinded. We used to get in fist fights about 2K. Like 2K was our lives for so long.
I was always a Call of Duty up until Warzone, and then I switched to Apex.
Mm-hmm.
So like I played 360, I played Mod 2,
Yeah.
Black Ops, and all those. And then when I got to PS or Xbox One, I was more Battlefield, and then now it's Apex.
Yeah.
Battlefield 1 was a beautiful game, and then Battlefield 5 was garbage. So
I never played Battlefield. I don't think. I was
Battlefield,
really into I was always really into sports games. Except I was into Call of Duty Black Ops really heavy on the PS3 when I was in like element middle school. Um, I was really into Black Ops too. But enough about games. Let's get back to reality because we got in that virtual reality realm. Um, yeah, so you know, back to what we were talking about, like with you and how like what you're gonna see in the future. Do you have any like big plans for the summer or anything like that?
be in Vegas a lot. Hopefully travel a lot. I mean, I think once my passport's valid, I'm trying to stay out of the States as much as I can. I have people in Australia that I want to go see, just friends and stuff like that have, I've linked up online, but they're like, hey, like come stay out here. Come check it out. Hopefully I can some type of get some kind of income going to where I don't have to worry about and everything. I was I was really busy this pandemic with some family stuff, just making sure like, some family members were okay. My mom specifically were taken care of. And now that they are, I think I'm going to just try and figure it out.
Yeah.
I don't really have any responsibilities here. I don't have kids. I don't have a girlfriend. I don't have anything. So I have the ability to kind of just take a year or maybe two to figure it out, make something of myself, at least to maybe where I can start a career and or some type of thing that'll give me longevity that I'll feel fulfillment with. Like yeah, I have my day job and it's in finance, it's in the finance realm and it's decent, it makes me decent money and I have the ability to make more, but it doesn't really fulfill me as a person. Like I'd rather go off for a year or two and try to build an agency, a creative studio, or make my art blow up somewhere to where I'm getting a lot of work. I'd rather work on that front than anything else.
No, definitely. I think you definitely got to follow your passions and follow your heart. Like it's if you hate what you do, not you specifically, but just in general, if you hate what you do and you still do it, what are you doing? Like honestly, like really, you have such a finite time on here, and I get if you have responsibilities and things like that, but realistically, if you can figure a way out, get the hell out of it. If you hate it, find something you want to do and stick to it, man.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people aren't fulfilling themselves much, which is kind of sad. I mean, but it also has to do with what fulfills people. Some people are okay with working a 9 to 5. Some people are okay to, retiring at 65 and then enjoying their life. Some people are okay with, getting married and having kids, and that's sometimes that's how they feel fulfilled. Not everyone has the same ideologies as you. And one of the biggest things I had to come into terms with recently is a lot of my friends are okay with being normal. They're okay with getting married at 30, having kids at 32, buying a house at 35, working their job until they're 65 and then retiring, and then that's their life. Some people are 100% okay with that lifestyle. Me, that does not appeal to me at all. Like I don't want to work at the same job until I'm 65 and then call it a day. But I also think it has to do with the way I was raised, what I've seen, the way jobs are, the way the market has been. There's a lot of factors that go into that where I just don't feel I want to live what's considered a normal life. And I don't think I live one now. I mean, I take pictures of people for a living, and there's a lot of people who hate on it. There's a lot of people who love it. There's a lot of people who think it's weird, and that's okay. I'm
Mm.
totally fine with not being normal at all. But 90% of the people surrounding you, family, friends, and everything, are completely okay, and they will completely 100% always question why you are not the way they are.
Man, and that's one of the truest things I've ever heard someone say about my life is my parents question, especially my dad. He questions why I am the way I am. And I think it's because I was destined to do things like this and things of, just sociable things, where I'm just loud and I'm just creative and I'm getting people up and I'm getting people positive and I'm getting people listening. Um, yeah. So finding this was crazy. And for you, bro, like I feel like if you have a passion for something, which you do, and like, dude, you're always going to have haters if you're good at something. You know what I mean? Um, One of the coolest things I found, I hope you see this too, is like the supporters. Like sometimes people, like I love when people don't owe you shit, especially people you don't even know, and they just reach out like, "Hey, you're really inspiring to me." Blah blah blah. That's what I'm doing now, and that's one of the coolest things that I've experienced with this. Is I didn't even expect to have fans, let alone people who like religiously listen to things I say. And another thing, don't listen to everything I say. I give good advice once in a while, but I am not like a god, I'm just a person. But it's cool to have people reach out and say that I'm touching their lives and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I put a lot of attention into the people that do support me. I don't put any attention to the people that don't. I'm really quick on the block button as well. If you want to be invited to my block party, I'll fucking block you all day. I don't give a shit. So that's where I stand on it. You gotta always give more energy to the people that support you than the people that don't. So, especially nowadays, if friends or family don't really support me, like they're not paying my bills. You know, you if you have a say or want some type of control in my life, pay my rent, take me to dinner, pay my phone bill. Like my mom used to have the biggest problem with what I do, but I don't live under her roof, and I haven't since I was 16. So she can't really tell me shit.
Yeah.
Family members that I see once a year, and they're like, "Why do you do this? What's going on?" And they ask my mom, like, "Are you okay with him taking?" And eventually my mom got sick of it, and she was like, "What the fuck does it have to do with you?" You know. So it's all about putting your positive energy into places where you're going to receive more energy back,
Mm-hmm.
at least positive. You know.
People love to stick their noses into things too. It's people are nosy people, bro. People who, especially when it's like something that's so different, they like to,
Yeah.
what's this? What's this? Dude, one of the craziest things, I didn't even know this was a feature. So I have like the unfollow app just because like I like to see who blocks me and stuff. But it shows you once in a while like people who like view your page like all the time, and like it'll be like, oh, buy this and you can see it, or try this, whatever. And I'm like, click on it. And there's so many people who don't follow me who stalk my page and just watch my videos all the time. That's weird to me. But I always just think it's like those are the people who are going out looking this stupid thing he said, and they're just hating because they want to do something and they're hurting in their own life. And so the way they get it out is they hate on other people doing their grind.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's a big proponent when you're unsatisfied with your life. Misery loves company. And that's just a solid fact. People are miserable in their life. They want you to be miserable, and that's the thing. You
Mm-hmm.
know, uh, and and it comes that was a big thing with and that has to do with relationships, friendships, whatever. I never go out seeking advice from other people who don't have it better than me. Like I would never ask a single friend for advice on my relationship. I would never ask someone who doesn't know how to manage their money what I should do with my business. Because misery loves company. Why would I ask someone who's broke, where should I put my money in the stock market? They're not going to know. They're going to fucking want me to gamble that money away because
Mm-hmm.
they're fucking miserable. I'm not going to ask my single friend who's just telling me, no, 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 fuck that bitch. Come out with me. Come and party with me. No, he's miserable because he doesn't have anyone to do that with. I'm going to go talk to, someone who's in a relationship who should think, hey, me and my girl are having this problem. What should I do? Because they're going to give me the best advice,
Mm-hmm.
because they're obviously in a happy relationship and they know how to succeed in their happiness. And it goes with everything. If I'm unhappy with fulfilling my life or I don't have direction on what do I do, I should go talk to someone who does have direction, who does know what they're doing, who has a positive outlook on life, because they're going to give me the best information that I need.
For sure. For sure. Um, I will say this though. There's a place of flaming people who do weird shit. I'm just gonna say that right now. There are people who like have like these weird things that they do on like TikTok and Instagram, and they're like little pretentious. There's a place for flaming those people because they deserve to be flamed. But other than that, if people are on the grind, let them be on their grind. But there's a place for flaming people.
Well, I think it's because you need to check people.
Yeah.
That's a whole different conversation of checking people because that wanting for attention and those people that do weird stuff, that's a form of negativity because they're lacking so much attention, whatever their life is. They need they're lacking so much attention that they need attention that even bad attention is still good is still even bad attention towards them is still a form of attention and they'll take it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the
Yep.
bad child syndrome. You're not getting enough attention, so you can't get good attention. So let me do something so I can get bad attention. But it's still, in the long run, it's still a type of attention that's on me.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of people do. They fall into that cringe factor, that wow factor, that they just need some form of attention. They don't care how they get it. They'll just get it anyway.
Facts. Well, Adam Cole, thank you again for coming on the show.
It's been great, my dude. It's always a pleasure.
It was fun, man. We always have great conversations. I should just call these episodes tangent time, man. These are great episodes. I mean, to an extent, my whole show is a tangent, but especially me and you, we just get right into it and we just get flowing.
Next time me and you will plan it a little more. We'll have like a structure. Maybe
I don't even think we need to do that because I don't think that's what the people want. I think people want to see
your show. I'm not going to tell you how to run a podcast. You do you. If you're cool with it, I'm cool with them.
I'm definitely cool with it. That's what people want to hear. They want to hear real, unedited conversations, especially now. Okay, I did pause it a couple of times. Dog was barking, had to piss. That's different. We got right back into it. But yeah, thank you for coming on as always. It's gonna be out today. I don't wait anymore.
Nice. Holy shit. That's awesome. Love the turnaround.
Yeah, so I'm gonna edit it right now. It'll be out.
Let me get something for the fans, man.
Yes, sir, man.
So I'm gonna get a quick.
I got enough photos of you because I have the whole video, so I'll screenshot a good one, especially if you. Oh, also, if you have any way I can put it in the link on how to get your book.
Yeah, my book's sold out right now, but I'm getting more very soon. So I will. I'll still give you the link. It's on my website.
Yeah, I'll let them know when I'm doing the intro that's sold out now. But
here, I'm gonna take a quick pic. So
all right,
check it. Ready? 1, 2.
Beautiful. But yeah, I'll say that in the intro that it's sold out right now. But we're still recording. Hold on.